but don't get cute, is my general takeaway. Okay, so here's an exercise. I have pointer 2. I have y is equal to the value 10. What would pointer 2 is equal to pointer y? What would that be? And if I say afterwards, and if I sneeze a whole lot, if I say pointer 2 is equal to the pointer value at pointer 2 is equal to y, what happens? So, oh, excuse me. So what happens if I try pointer 2 is equal to the value, the reference to y? This means my pointer is pointing to wherever this 10 is being stored in memory. I am so sorry. I have no idea what's going on with my sneezing. Okay. So pointer 2 is going to point to y. We are pointing pointer 2 to point to something. So we are causing pointer 2 to point to something. That's fine. Next, what if I say dereferencing pointer 2 and we'll make it equal to y? Effectively, this is pointer 2. If pointer 2 is actually pointing to y, it's going to set y to y. Pointer 2 to the value of y. This is assuming that pointer 2 is already being pointing to something. If we were saying that pointer 2 was not pointing to anything, we would change it to the value y. If it was already pointing to something else, we change whatever it was pointing to the value y. And if it's pointing to nothing, if it's pointing to null, then we have a problem, and it's not gonna work for us. So if pointer 2 is pointing to null, I get a null pointer exception. So it depends on how you want to view this thing. So this will say pointer 2 to y, and this will say whatever pointer 2 is pointing to, set what it's storing to the value that that's equivalent to what y is storing. So if y was 10, it will store 10 to whatever pointer 2 is pointing to. It gets really confusing. So just let me give you a quick reminder before we're going to take a little break here. This is a first step, and I know from personal experience from teaching students over the years, pointers are always a problem. They start off so easy. Oh, it just points to stuff. And at that point in time, you're doing okay. But when you start doing pointers to pointers and then dereference to this and all, it's extremely frustrating. It's still confusing to me 20 years later. It is okay to not necessarily get it immediately. It's okay to not get it 2 months from now. Just try your best with it. And oftentimes, if you don't know what it's doing, put a breakpoint down, see what's going to happen, which is why we did that little exercise earlier. I don't necessarily know what it's going to, if I don't know what it's going to do, take a second, figure out what your code is actually doing. Don't try assuming what your code is doing and then moving on from there. Figure out what that expression is actually doing, a little bit at a time. Once you get a hang of things, it'll be a lot easier. Because when we come back, we're going to be dealing with arrays and how arrays are actually just dealing with pointers. It's a shortcut to pointers. So we'll see that very, very soon. All right. Thanks, everyone, and I'll talk to you guys very soon.